Been around the world now. I still can't sing. I'm starting to feel a bit more like I'm travelling properly now. I'm in Azerbaijan, Baku airport. There's a Christmas tree there. It's the 2nd of December and I'm going further east. I'm going to Samarkand. I'm going to Uzbekistan. I'm going to like the capital of the old Silk Road, and I'm feeling a bit emotional. I feel like I'm really travelling and doing something adventurous, and it's a lovely airport, and it just, I don't know, it's probably going to be really weird watching it on the video, but it's kind of really sinking in that I'm doing something that I think I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. Salam. So this is my first day in Samarkand proper. Here's today's outfit. I was going to wear my little pink hat, but because I'm going in tombs and mausoleums and stuff, I have to wear a scarf over my head and I can't be bothered to take it on and off. So I'm just taking it off. Hopefully I don't have hat hair, but I'll keep you posted. Not on the hat hair, on the sights, etc. Salam from Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Salam. This is the tomb of Tina, and it is incredible inside. He made Samarkand his capital, and it's fair to say he was pretty well off. I don't think the video does it justice. So I'm in Registan Square in Samarkand, and this was the centre of the Silk Road. It was like a marketplace, public area, and the 3 huge buildings were universities. So most of the knowledge of the Islamic world would have all been taught around here. So it's like one of the most impressive monuments to human learning in the world right now. Well, not right now, but you know what I mean, in historical terms. And it's absolutely breathtaking. I can't believe I'm here, truth be told. And check out these 2 like tigers. So I think this is probably my favourite inside and courtyard of all of the 3 buildings. It's just so beautiful. It's really peaceful. There's a guy, that hammering noise you can hear is a guy engraving some metal plates, and I don't know if you can hear all the birds tweeting. Either there's a big earthquake and Godzilla's walking around, or it's just a normal twilight. Hopefully it's just a normal twilight. So this is it at night time, and it looks absolutely magical. I just had a little moment listening to the song Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. The lyrics, in another place, in another time, so far from home, and it was so apt. I had a little cry, but happy tears, but so beautiful. And it's just mad to think that I'm in Samarkand. I'm in the middle of Asia. I'm in the middle of human civilization 500 years ago, and little Army's made it here as a trans woman, and nobody's killed me or stoned me or anything. So yeah, I'm so happy right now. So I'm just about to leave this place, and I've not really done much here, but it's touched me quite deeply. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but I give it 2 enthusiastic thumbs up and recommend it to anybody. So I come to a local family restaurant, Christmas tree in the background, and there's something bonkers in here. We got the Wi-Fi working, and I've got plov and a Diet Coke, no ice, which means it's not come cold.
It's okay?
It's really good, thank you. So today I am going to go to Sogdia, which is how I think you pronounce it, which is the old town, part of Samarkand. Samarkand was destroyed by Genghis Khan, so what I saw yesterday on all the fancy bits was rebuilt. But Sogdia was like the ancient, where the local people would trade between the Romans and the Chinese Empire. It's also where Alexander the Great was stationed for a bit. It's the land where Roxana, his wife, was from. And yeah, so I'll be standing in the footsteps of Alexander the Great and his amazing horse Persepolis. And here is my outfit, which is a little bit tourist chic, but a bit practical. But I am going to walk back, which is about 7 kilometres, so get a taxi there, walk back. Why I'm telling you that detail, I don't know, but hey, you get to enjoy that. Sorry, I'll try not to be as boring next time. So this is Samarkand, or Maraganda. Okay, it doesn't look great, but this is the part of the town that got absolutely annihilated by Genghis Khan in the 1200s. This is the old town where Alexander the Great would have been, his horse Persepolis and Roxana would have been here. And it lasted for about 2,000 years, this city. But Genghis Khan destroyed it, so they rebuilt over there. And that's all over there, what you can see in the background. And all the fancy bits I saw yesterday were all part of the rebuilt stuff. So super cool, they just let you walk around this archaeological site. I've not found any gold coins or pottery or dead bodies. And if I do, I have to leave them here because otherwise I'll get arrested. But if I do find something, I'll let you know. So this is the Bibi Khana Mosque complex. So that's the mosque behind me, I think, but here's the impressive gates. You can see the size of them based on how small that fella is there. Absolutely huge, and these were built at the end of the 1300s, so about 1395, something like that. These were built, and they're huge. I think these were the first, or this was the first huge building after the city was being rebuilt by Timur. So yeah, really, really impressive. I'm really old. So this site's incredible. Look at all the tile work. It's built in the 1300s for Timur's relatives and generals and wives, etc. Look at that little corridor down there, very Indiana Jonesy. So the spice market is pretty cool. I bought myself a banana. I think I got ripped off. I tried to negotiate, but it didn't really work. I say ripped off, it was about 30p, so not that expensive. But a lot of fun, and thanks to Gareth Bale, because without him, people would have no idea where in the world I'm from. So thank you, Gareth. I know you're a big fan. So that's the market behind me where I've just come from. And you can see this is the Bibi Khana Mosque complex, and just to put into context, you can see how big it is by using my banana. That was funnier in my head. So I'm just on my walk back, and it's still pretty cold, and I knew I was going to walk past this, so that's cheered my spirits up a little bit. Look at that, so cool. I'm not going to go in today because I went in yesterday, but it's always a feast for the eyes. So right in the middle of the roundabout is Timur, the double hard sort of warlord, conqueror, guy who kind of put this place back on the map, literally, after Genghis Khan wiped it out. His mausoleum is just over there, that green bit that you can see underneath my finger, but now he's in the middle of a roundabout, and I think during the Soviets that was a statue of Karl Marx, so they pulled down Karl Marx and put Timur back up there. I'm not sure what that says. Maybe it's local pride rather than any socio-political statement. But yeah, there you go. There's the bus. Brilliant, brilliant timing. So I've been a bit naughty and snuck in here into a high-end sort of cafe, restaurant place. I've got a granny, which is croissant pastry with Nutella inside, and a green tea, because they do not do decaf. When you say decaf, they're like, yes, we have coffee, and then you translate it, and they're like, why? So green tea's an easier ask. It's been a while since I've done a train station video, but this is at Samarkand train station, and the train looks a million times better than the prison train out of bloody Armenia into Georgia. Let's hope it's way better. So I've arrived in Bukhara and been here for a couple of hours, just got out for a little walk, and I really like it already. It's so peaceful and calm. I mean, look at these, just great sights. There's little markets everywhere. Bear in mind, this used to be like a major hub in the Silk Road. So a really ancient place. The people are really laid back. They kind of look at you because you're a stranger, because I'm trans, but because I'm blonde and white. But they don't hassle you at all, and everybody's pretty laid back. And there's lots of really interesting things in the shops. So I might do some shopping tomorrow. So I found myself a friend at this beautiful pool. I'm at such a jaunty angle now. But yeah, she keeps on trying to want to jump up. But this pool's ever so peaceful, and look, I say it's peaceful, but you got this bloody music going really, really loud at this restaurant. I'm sure this cat's going to jump in my back. So I'm going to walk off before I end up taking the cat back to the UK. It feels really cold, so it feels wintry. But the Christmas music, it feels really Christmassy, but this surrounding buildings, or ancient Roman buildings, not quite so Christmassy. I'm sure they would have approved. Those commerce giants in the 1400s would have certainly loved Christmas and the money that would have bought. So most of Bukhara is like an open air museum. That's called the Chor Minor or Chor Minor. I'm not fully sure what it is. I think, looking at the sign, it's a former trading complex. Everything seems to be a former trading complex around here, but I just think it's one of the most bonkers looking buildings I've ever seen. Reminds me a bit of a plug, which I'm sure is what the architect was going for. So this is the Liabi House kind of square. I don't know if you can see that awesome sort of like phoenixes on the tile work there, but there's 3 madrasas, which is the correct pronunciation for old schools or colleges. You can't quite see the one through there, but there's a pool right in front of it. And this guy here on the statue is what all the locals want their photo with. I believe he's from like local fairy tales, like a kind-hearted guy. But yeah, it's really beautiful and peaceful here. It's honestly, it's like an open-air museum. It's brilliant. So shopping around the markets has become a bit tiring, so I've come in to listen to Christmas music and have Uzbek baklava and a cup of coffee. So this is the main part of Bukhara, and it is absolutely bonkers. There's the shopping area, look how old these streets are, and then this bit, look. How magical is that? And there's even more behind, so you see what I mean about it being like an open air museum? Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely bonkers. And there's not really that many tourists. I mean, it is December, so it is off season, but the temperature's fine. It's about 10 degrees. The sun's actually quite warm. It's cold in the evenings, but I would strongly recommend coming here. It is fantastic. And when you exit the complex, you turn around and you've got the fort. So I kind of knew the stands existed. I'd heard of the old Silk Road, but this is like real history. I mean, Britain's great and I love it. Never taught any of this in school, but this is like serious history. You know, people have been coming here for like 2,000-3,000 years. At that point, we were living in woods and I don't know. This is why I should be a presenter. So this is the Ark, which is like a fortress, and there's a fun fair, hence the music. How cool is this? This is where all the young cool people come, which is why I'm here. Right, this might be the most bonkers little square I've ever seen. So, giant Christmas tree just getting put up, some modern sculpture, some camels, an ancient fortress, loads of people scooting by, loads of people from the area having a great time on a Saturday. Loud music, it's absolutely bonkers. And that camel doesn't even look real. I'm not going to get closer because it'll probably spit at me if I'm lucky, bite me if I'm unlucky, kick me if I'm really unlucky. So I'm actually in the Ark right now. That's the old centre of town I was in earlier. And just spinning around, you can see how amazing it is. And there's the walls of the Ark behind me. Love this place. So these fountains are making me really need to go for a pee. Here's another awesome old building. I think this one's a mosque. And it's just across the way from the Ark, which I was just in. So I'm desperate for a pee. And I found a cafe-ish, and here's the toilet. I've got a little key to open it. Isn't that bonkers? So I'm in the kind of central park, and over there, which you can't quite make out, is like an historic gate or part of the wall. And you know what? I've seen so much great stuff, I can't be arsed to walk over there. But there's people out there boating, I'm definitely not doing that. And there's a lot of hustle and bustle over there, which I think is the market. But you know what, I've had such a great day, I'm not good. I found like I'm on bullseye. For all my non-British viewers, all 4 of you, that's going to mean absolutely nothing. But yeah, rather than walking and tiring myself out, I'm going to sort of head back and maybe just chill out near the centre. So you guys know, I love a train station. I love Bukhara too, it was awesome. And here is Bukhara train station. I'm not sure how interesting the video is will be, but here's what the Uzbekistan countryside looks like. If that's not award-winning YouTube, I don't know what is. So I'm in Tashkent and it is, well, you can see it's grey and wet and horrible out there. I arrived last night, the Uber driver dropped me in the middle of nowhere and that was scary as anything. I eventually found the hotel, but not without nearly having a breakdown. He dropped me like a mile away from the hotel and the internet wasn't working either, so I had no idea where I was. But anyway, the hotel's nice. Tashkent seems like a really cool city, but it's just really wet and miserable out there today. Here's today's outfit. Oh, here's my advent calendar card. And I'm gonna go to their metro. I'm gonna get soaked, walk into the metro, and then their metro is supposed to be a work of art. So I'm gonna go exploring for a couple of hours in the metro and I hope it dries up by the time I pop my head back out. So I'm in the metro at Tashkent and this is the famous space metro stop. So there's lots of famous space explorers and cosmonauts around here. So this is the first stop and look at even the pillars of Space Agent Cool, look. How cool is this? So I won't bore you by showing you the whole lot, but I'm going to go and explore it myself. So this is my second metro station. This one's called Tinchlik. I think this one's flash because of the chandeliers. Check those out. It's about 1,000,000 degrees down here. So it's about 6 degrees upstairs out in the cold, but down here they like to keep the central heating on. It is roasting. So the next one's called Go for Galon. I'm having a quick look around. There it is. So this one's called Alicia Navoy, and it's really grand and fancy. Check out that roof. Wow, really cool. It might be my favourite one so far. So I've just travelled 50 years back in time, and this house Soviet Union is this. This is the famous Hotel Uzbekistan. It's something to behold, isn't it? So imagine in 100 years time, people will actually think, wow, that's really interesting. Now it looks like a 1970s monstrosity. Might even be before the 70s, as always, my facts are sketchy, which is why you guys love watching. But look at that. So I'm now in the cafe at the Hotel Uzbekistan. I had to be done. So this is Independence Square in Tashkent, and the whole town is so quiet because of Constitution Day. It feels really eerie. It feels like all Sunday afternoons combined into being the most Sunday-like Sunday afternoon in the history of Sundays. So yeah, here's the sight. Nothing's occurring, and I'm just walking aimlessly around, getting colder and colder. So I found a lovely park. This is Independence Square in Tashkent. It's so quiet today because it's a public holiday, Constitution Day, and the city seems like a really big urban city with loads of cool stuff going on, but just nothing's really happening today because everybody's at home. So I'm going to use this as my sign off for Uzbekistan. I give Uzbekistan 1 7/8 thumbs up. It's been absolutely amazing. Bukhara I fell in love with. Tashkent seems quite cool, but I can't really comment properly because it seems closed. And Samarkand was really nice as well. So girls, if I can do this as a 40-something-year-old trans woman, you guys can too, can't you? So go and find your own adventure. Yes.